Hello, friends! It's another episode of The Blunt Writer, and today we are talking about narcissism. Are writers narcissists? Because that's what a lot of people say. They say, well, you have to be a narcissist if you want to keep pushing your stuff out in the world and say, look at me, look at me. So, are writers narcissists? Well, I think there can be narcissists who are writers. There might be a lot of them. But I think as a writer, first and foremost, like any artist, like any person doing anything in this world, is you're a creator. And you just happen to be a creator in a very focused way, which is writing something and sharing it with the world. Now, this craft and this industry of being a writer subjects you to the same insecurities and human psychological behaviors, which can result in a lot of toxic qualities. And this is why I think it's really important for all writers to acknowledge that we're all susceptible to those toxic behaviors, and it's in our best interest, personally and collectively, to kind of be aware of them and step outside of that every once in a while to just check yourself and say, am I being kind of a prick? So there are a few ways to spot the classic narcissist writer, and these type of writers will, they only want feedback, or they'll only go to you to say, can you read this and tell me what you think, constantly, and that's all they do, and their engagement with you is, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's really kind of based on, look at me. Or they only want to talk about their project or what their ideas are, and they'll kind of half listen to you, but they don't really care. And you just know it energetically, you just know that they don't really care about what you have to say. It's just, they want something to talk at and not talk with. And again, that's not really just a writer trait, that just happens to be a person who has those traits who also happens to be a writer. They only want to talk about their publications or their problems with publications. And the only reason they seem to be in the writing community online or in person is so that they can project all their issues, their ideas, their brainstorming about that. And they usually will pick one or two writers who are, maybe a little bit not that confident to stand up to them and say, had enough, don't really want to engage. But they will probably just pick one or two writers who they will just keep pushing and pushing and pushing all of their stuff on. Believe me, I have seen it all because I have worked with many writers, with many students. I've been part of the community, and I've met some of the best, most wonderful people that I know are artists and writers. And so this is definitely not a majority thing at all, but every group, check among yourselves, has a narcissist. But what are the things that we should be checking for? That's more important. Let's, because this is not just a bitch fest about narcissists, but this is more about what kind of writer should we be. And well, the first thing is, to acknowledge that you're a creator. You're creating something that's new. And don't think that that means you have a new idea. Please do not think you have a new idea. Nobody has a fucking new idea. Every idea has been utilized and mythicized and re-story told and sung and played back 100 different million ways. What counts is your way of executing it and your fingerprint on it, the way that you have negotiated this idea with your worldview and with your imagination. And that's what makes you unique, not your fucking idea. So stop saying, I have a new idea, you don't. You do not have a new idea. You have a new way of presenting something to the world. Therefore, you are a creator. So be a writer who wants to create, who wants to engage with the world. Thirdly, be a giver of your knowledge. I see a lot of this in our culture where we want to reserve what we know. I don't want to talk about this idea. I don't want to do this. I do not want to talk to you about this particular thing that I'm working on. Or I don't really want to, share my knowledge about the craft of writing, or about, or my networks or blah, blah, blah. Well, why? Unless somebody is trying to take advantage of you, but why? Because do you think that they're going to take your idea and then they're going to like execute it the same way that you were going to execute it? I don't think so. And even if you share all your knowledge, it's completely dependent on how they use that knowledge. And it's going to be 100% very different from the way that you can and your potential is to use your own knowledge. So share knowledge so people can interact with it and you can both grow. And this reserved mentality, I call it a scarcity mindset. That's just a thought pattern that you're going to have in your head, and you're just going to keep. You're always going to your personality is going to be like that. Like, I'm not going to share. And one day you'll realize that sharing is probably the best way to, be a co-creator with the world. And if you're a creator, you better be a co-creator too. So be a giver of knowledge. And the last thing is to actively try to see where you are concerned about something in the world that is not directly affecting you, maybe nothing to do with writing. I'm not saying we all have to be passionate or about the same causes or issues in the world going on, but there's always something that we can resonate with and be concerned about and platform and give a voice to and work on and understand, to understand our world better, the complexity of it. Because as writers, we can make things very simple and accessible to people, or we can allow them a chance to escape from a reality. But in order to do that, you have to also understand the complexity of the world. It's only from the complex can you simplify. So if you don't engage with that, then you're going to say something redundant or boring or pedantic or didactic, which is, and we'll do a separate video on this pedantic, didactic, I will tell you the answers kind of writing, which is very like, bleh. So anyway, so be concerned about something, or find that. I'm like, be concerned about something. No, you can't just be concerned about something, but find something. And for you to do that, you have to really, again, engage with people and hear for those people who are sharing knowledge and life experiences, because that's where you'll suddenly realize, like, oh, I connect with this. Oh, I care about this. And you can only do that in a shared infrastructure where people are sharing together. And that makes you a better person, and it makes you a better writer. So, writers, are you narcissists? Probably not. But you might be, and you might have a few toxic traits, and that's fine as long as you're willing to do the work and you're willing to look outside yourself and see you as compared and in context to the rest of our very complex world. So I hope this is helpful, and I will have new videos up very soon. Bye-bye.